and welcome to a Monday FAFO. Today we have SpecialT in the house. SpecialT has been experimenting a lot with a whole bunch of different edibles, something about a vibrator, or a vibro cleaner, or what was it? A vibro ultrasonic cleaner.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Farrell hears what he wants.
So, talk to us a little bit about your journey in what got you started in growing mushrooms.
How long have you been going? How long is when you started?
It's been about 4 years now. I started pre-pandemic, not by a whole lot. I was actually out walking the dogs with my mom. We found a giant puffball, and I'd always loved mushrooms. So, it kind of got me more interested at the time. Started playing with some gourmets, and, you know where that leads.
Right?
Yeah, it's a gateway drug.
Gateway.
And, it's really helped with depression and anxiety. So I just kept going with it. Diving down the rabbit hole of genetics now and playing with edibles, new and interesting ways to take the medicine.
What kind of edibles are you doing mostly?
So far, the gummies have been the most successful. I'm trying to get into baked goods and fucking around and finding out with that.
Nice.
I've never done the gummies. So is it just you buy like the Knox gelatin, or do you buy a special mix of stuff?
Yeah, I'm doing just regular Jell-O, and a little bit of Knox unflavored helps firm it up. I make a alcohol extraction with the ultrasonic cleaner, then reduce that down and add that to the mix.
Well, you've only done the ultrasonic one time, right?
Right.
Yeah, but before you can make it before cleaner, that.
But I'd be afraid to use it after all the gun parts I put through it.
Yeah, I bought this just for this.
Is it a heated one, or is it just the regular type?
It has the ability to heat, but I'm not using that function on it. It does naturally warm up from the ultrasonic running, though.
And plus, it's alcohol, so it's going to evaporate and fucking no matter what. The heat's going to help, but even a fan would even...
Right. The first time I did it there, I put it all in a double boiler after I had strained it out.
I still think you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know as if I would do that again.
What he's not saying is that he's got a gas oven. He put a double boiler on with with the alcohol extract on there.
No, fuel air bomb never hurt anyone.
No, it's,
I kept the hook thing over the top, trying to suck it up and out of the chimney. But yeah, looking back on that, may not have been the best.
Yeah, buddy, we're glad you survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything worked out great.
This would be a very different episode if you didn't survive the seance.
Yeah, right? Oh, wait, it's moving. The thing is moving.
That's awesome.
So now your gummy thing is, oh, fuck. I mean, you're using the molds. You have one of like those cool fucking...
Yeah, I've got some little
Lego man molds.
Oh, they're just little smiley faces. I made them a good happy dose and, a nice happy looking gummy.
Right. How big are your doses?
Yeah.
The doses are, it turned out to be like 3/4 of a gram of mushroom per gummy, which with the extraction, I think they hit more like 1.5.
That makes dosing easy.
Yeah.
Oh well, you can do well. Honestly, gummies are nice. That's just eating candy and a way to store it. If you do just the extraction that you're doing and do that down, You can walk around with a vial like in the old days with acid. Just do a dropper and go, boop, boop, and you're done.
Oh.
So
I wonder how long they lasted gummy form. It's got to probably forever. It's locked away, inside there. It's away from air and light and everything, right?
I've got them in a sealed container in the fridge. They've lasted a week so far. I kept them in a cooler all weekend at a festival. So
speaking of that, how was that festival?
Oh man, it was awesome. That was the first one I do. All kinds of awesome, freaky people. Everybody having fun.
Fuck yeah. Were you going around being a little, what do you call those things? Tooth fairy with your edibles for all the hookers?
I started off that way till I slipped in the mud and pulled a muscle in my back. Then I just waited for people to come to me.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Sorry you got hurt. That's never any fun.
Nah. It's already getting a little better.
It might have been the edible. That might be the edible talking.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I didn't have to wait too long for people to come to me. My brother-in-law had a full bar set up at his campsite. He's got a little kegerator with 3 taps on it.
Oh, shit.
You guys are the people to know when you go to the party.
Yeah, it was the place to be.
We used to do shit like that. I used to go to Watkins Glen every year. We had this thing called the Gumby Land over there where everybody just all NASCAR race, but you're basically sitting there partying outside the whole time. It was awesome. Camper. We had the bar outside, set up urinals, to piss in the fucking. It's great.
Nice.
You can charge people for the freaking urinals.
Why? It's basically it's a urinal sitting there in the middle of the fucking. I mean, it's basically just a urinal. So people can piss on it. It's not like a porta potty. It was just the smart ass thing that everybody started using.
Yeah, I was like,
next year we moved it away from the camper.
Yeah, it's gonna get ripe after a day or so.
Yeah, no, right after about 45 minutes. Yeah,
we were out.
That was not
3 trees of urinal there.
Eh? Oh. What kind of festival was it?
It was a weird kind of hippie folk, all kinds of weird stuff. A lot of bands I've never heard of.
Oh, well.
But, the music was good. The people were fun. Definitely
Good
something
drug.
I'd do again.
Oh. People, drugs, music.
Yeah.
Hey, it's always a great combination.
Right? Yeah. You're
What's
not
your
a smart
favorite
ass today. I can tell you're high or something because you're talking slow.
Yeah,
Well, you
I think
probably
that
scared him.
edibles got me a little
Yeah.
A
beer
little
than
mellowed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell the difference from when I normally talk with you.
What's your favorite strain you've been growing recently?
Right now it's been Jack Frost. That's the one
a very popular one.
Yeah,
everybody. Good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's why I said go. Sorry, that's my fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, everybody's in love with that right now. It's fun to grow. I've gotten a lot of different mutations popping up in it.
It's pretty reliable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's what I say. That's one of my best. I don't want to know if I want to say sellers, but no, my Jack Frost, that is from SpecialT. That's not a me from a spore kind of thing. Those are his genetics.
Nice.
So yeah, I never had any luck with Jack Frost, and always just it never did shit for me until I got
the strain that I got was just the strain that I got from spore was crap. It made I tried it several different ways. I could never get like a good rhizo plate, and it was always just sporadic. And so I was like, it hasn't been tamed down enough yet. I'll wait a little while until somebody else does all the work, and then I'll be like, hey, trade me.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the one that I got from UT is fucking awesome. Everybody loves that thing.
Yeah, that's been good. I'd like to take it back to Spore and see what else I can get out of it, but I'm happy with the one that I'm working now.
Yeah.
Nice. What are you doing for grain? How are you doing your grain?
I've done a little bit of everything. Currently, I'm using oats just because they're cheap and readily available.
Hell yeah.
Big fan of oats.
I have done a lot of popcorn, but the price has gone up on that, and I almost lost you there. The screen keeps going black on me. Yeah, popcorn's been great, but it's a little more expensive, and I don't see that much more of a benefit from it.
No, popcorn's about to get really expensive because of all the crop failures everywhere. So it's gonna become like one of those like premium type things. You like watch. It's gonna be really expensive here very shortly.
Are we talking pandemic fucking hand sanitizer or?
Probably worse than pandemic hand sanitizer. The only popcorn that's been successfully grown, or the only corn that's been successfully grown this year, we're living off of 2022's stock. There has been 2023 had no successful grows of any corn or any popcorn, like commercial grows, because of the weather was crazy, crop failures, they had a blight. We're talking globally, like it's just done, and that's why like you're gonna see like meat prices just skyrocket here shortly.
No.
They can't afford to feed anybody. Nobody can afford to finish a cow or feed anything, so it's going to get very expensive very quickly.
Looks like it's time to stock up my chest freezer.
It would be right now would be a very good time to do that. If you don't want to, like, if you've got a little bit of land, grow some bunnies or something. But yeah, it's about to get a little bit shitty to live for the next year. So yeah, not going to be my favorite year.
There's always fish.
Yeah, except that down on the coast, they had that massive fish die-up. There's some shit going on. I don't know if it's apocalyptic or what the hell. But the Gulf Coast we've had this crazy hot weather, right? Because of the El Nino or whatever. And it came through and it killed off like half of the fish. That's why I'm not fishing right now. Is it killed off like they've got to go down what washed up in the Gulf of Mexico and just with bulldozers and just move just hundreds and hundreds of tons of fish along the whole Gulf Coast. There was like a 6-foot deep layer of dead fish.
That's fucking disgusting. I'd seen that kind of shit before.
The wife was all, I'm going to go down to the coast like last week. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Because the people I'm talking to, you can smell it when you get about 50 miles from the coast. I was like, yeah, probably not good. I definitely wouldn't get in the water because it's basically a septic tank at this point.
Yeah.
It just got so warm that the water lost the ability to carry oxygen and everything just suffocated. So,
if you ask my wife, that's all a part of their plan. I keep asking her who they are, but
how did they plan that? I'd like to know. Nah, it's just a bunch of random shit going on. It all sucks at the same time. It happens in spurts, but it's just all lined up to be really shitty this year. Like the West, the Midwest, the growing areas had just a super, super wet growing season. So everything molded and died. And then when you go overseas, they had like a crazy typhoon season. So everything got flooded. So it's not like we can import anything because it all drowned. There was a massive earthquake and landslide in the big rice growing parts of India and Pakistan that literally just buried the valley under like 6 feet of water. And there was the one valley where like 40% of the world's rice supply comes from. And they didn't grow anything this year. They would have been like, we'll import it from China. And then China had such a wet season that everything molded before they could harvest it. And so China's like, we'll just import it from America. And America's like, yeah, dude, don't look at us. We had wildfires. We had, just droughts. The big grain places, like you've got like Nevada, North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, all those places that are making just massive amounts of wheat. Like normally they'd get, 60, 70 bushels an acre. Well, they got like 1.5 to 2 bushels an acre this year because of the drought. And then when it came time to harvest, what they could get, it rained. So we're just running off a 2022 supply, and when that's out, it is going to get very expensive. So if you can,
enough.
I'd buy a couple of 50-pound bags of oats so you can keep growing stuff. And it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to grow some gourmets, especially like your pink oysters and stuff like that you can use as like a meat substitute and sell that shit. Yeah, because people are gonna be like, bacon. Like, I've got mushrooms.
Yeah, that's something I've been working on. I started with the gourmets, but got away from it when I got into the actives, and I need to get back to it. I helped a buddy set up a little gourmet farm, and he's got some better cultures now. To get a few samples from him.
Wow.
I guess he's killing it with those Black Pearl Kings.
Oh, they work great, man. They're pretty.
I heard those are awesome.
Yeah.
I've had those guys just fruit through patches on the dang thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he showed me pictures of his grow tent, and it's insane. I started with pinks. I was doing pinks and lion's mane. I tried Pia Pino. That one's, I don't know. I don't have that down yet. That's when you have to simulate a rainstorm and a temperature drop to get them to start fruiting.
Yeah.
Okay, for which ones?
The Pia Pino.
Those are the ones they grow out of the jar with the lid, with the collars, right?
No.
No, those are enoki.
That's right.
Enoki. Enoki. It's really hard to stop enoki from growing. So, I mean, they're gonna fruit. Yeah.
Like I say, that didn't sound. I didn't know that about them. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I was like, I was thinking about the wrong one.
Enoki, you'd be hard pressed to, when they decide to fruit, you're gonna be really hard pressed to slow them down to when you're ready for them, because they're just like, hey, guess what? Today we're fruiting. And you're like, no, wait 2 more days or they're not going to be ready for the market. And they're like, too late. So, they're going to fruit when they're ready. And that's why you just keep throwing hay on top of them to just let them keep getting taller. So, yep. But, I've never done the pepinos. But I've done like shiitakes, lots and lots of shiitakes.
Yeah, I've got to get out and inoculate some trees this year. I've got a few that fell in my yard. I've got to cut up and give them some spore plugs.
Yeah, we've got tons of oak here, like huge oak trees. So, and every year people run around and like chop giant limbs off of them. So, we're going to do like just stacked the shiitake grows, where you stack them like a log cabin and you just inoculate the shit out of them. So we're going to do those underneath our trees there on the new farm, just in shady areas, just so we have a constant stream of shiitake just for our own use. Because you can throw down on some of those, man. They're really, I don't know, you can buy them in the store and they're not nearly as good as the homegrown ones. So I don't know if they're growing them on something that's just super flavorless and they're not getting the right alkaloids they need. But growing your shiitake at home is just way better.
I assume they're doing just like wood pellet blocks, probably not supplemented very well.
Yeah, they're probably not supplementing. I do my shiitake is, just like all my gourmet mix. It's 70% wood and 30% alfalfa pellets. Just for all the calcium that's in the alfalfa pellets, I find that it makes it a lot stronger grow. Like you get much better looking mushrooms, and it's got all the nitrogen and everything else they need in there, and all the micronutrients and whatnot. Just got to be careful.
I listened to your episode. Was it last week or the week before on your gourmet stuff with the alfalfa?
Fuck that show.
I was at Tractor Supply the other day looking at, getting a few more bags of oats, and I saw the bales of alfalfa and the pellets. I wasn't sure which one would work better. I've used
pellets by far. The pellets by far.
Okay.
Just because they're already going to be the same size, like when they get wet, it'll be the same size as like the wood, right? So you're just going to mix it all together and then make a bale out of it. But yeah, it's the pellets. The pellets are the way to go. I've used those. I guess the Tractor Supply brand horse pellets a lot, but it just depends on which ones for sale. If the rabbit pellets are cheaper, I use the rabbit ones. If the horse ones are cheaper, I use the horse ones. But definitely use ones that are designed for animal feed and not like bedding. Or I've seen people try to use the stuff designated for like cat, like the new cat bedding stuff, and looks like pelletized. Don't use that shit, man. That you get that has like, it's the stuff that's not designated for food, so it has like chemicals in it. Like it's like, hey, this stuff tested way too high in glyphosate, so we can't use it for food, or it has broadleaf weed killer and stuff in it. So we're gonna use it for like animal like bedding and stuff. So definitely the food grade stuff is the way you want to go.
Oh, good.
It works out really well. It's really easy.
I've used straw before in my substrates, and I like how it creates those little highways for the mycelium. Wasn't sure if pellet or straw, the straw alfalfa was the best.
It's like a fucking slip and slide for those fucking things.
I haven't used the like bale type alfalfa. Now, what I have done outside is inoculate bales outside, but it was just like rando. So many years ago, I had a friend who had a baler, and he's like, "Man, this thing's an old ass baler. It's an old New Holland baler. The thing was like probably as old as my grandpa." He's like, "They don't bale anything." And I'm like, well, I have this field full of random shit. It's just like grasses and wildflowers and just some old alfalfa and everything else. And I was like, I'd like to bale it and, maybe do stuff with it. And so we just got the sickle bar mower, mowed it all down, baled it all up, and then we just inoculated the living shit. I mean, these bales were just not animal grade at all. Like there was thistle and just random whatever was in there, like saplings. So you could just it's just stuff. It's just biological material. And we inoculated them, got them wet, put a soaker hose on top of them, and then just basically used a bulb planter, punched holes in them, dropped in like, a cup or so full of grain spawn each hole, threw the little plug back on top, and then boom, freaking mushrooms. One thing they did grow a lot of was Inky Cap, and we never inoculated them for Inky Cap. And that's when I learned that Inky Cap mushrooms can make anybody throw up if they have any alcohol in their system. Inky Cap, if you have no alcohol in your system at all, Inky Cap mushrooms are delicious. I mean, they're totally edible. You can do whatever you want with them. You can also make them into ink because Inky Cap, right? People used to draw with them, make beautiful manuscripts and stuff, because as the ink ages, it turns this like Lord of the Rings kind of golden brown, right? Like it looks really, really cool. Starts off solid black, and then turns like this beautiful Lord of the Rings golden brown. after a year or two. The ink looks really neat. So, but yeah, if you have any alcohol in your system, Inky Cap Mushrooms will make you throw up like you chugged a bottle of Ipecac.
I know. I've heard your stories.
Yeah.
That's some evil genius stuff.
Well, I had a plethora of them. Like, that was the first thing that came up, was like the entire row of like 40 bales. We did 2 bales next to each other, and then we did like the row was like 20 feet long, and the next to that was another row of bales. You know, it's kind of made a U shape, so you could like walk in between each bales. And the first thing that came up within like 48 hours of soaking the bales, like just this huge flush of Inky Cap mushrooms you could have cut with a hedge trimmer shows up. And we're like, okay, I guess we're going to dry these and can some and eat some. And, you know, and make some like, no.
Those dry.
They dry. Yeah, they dry fine. Now they turn to like powder because they're they don't have like a thick stipe or anything like that. It's kind of hollow. But they turn to a powder that adds like umami to whatever you want. It's just the powder's like charcoal. It looks like ground charcoal. Like it's black. Which is pretty interesting to have on your spice shelf, is like a pint jar of dried Inky Cap mushroom powder. You just got to remember, if you've had any alcohol in 72 hours, everything's coming up. So, but it adds umami to things. It's a really good way to, check the sobriety of people that are supposed to be sober. It's fun to make ink with it. I mean, just because you can just take the powder, mix it with a little bit of alcohol, just enough to get it like so that it'll suck up an ink pen. Press it with a coffee. Just take a little circle, or just fold up a little bit of your coffee filter. Press it down into the jar, and now you've got ink you can write with. It's really pretty. It's really cool.
I wonder if you could use that in pasta the way they do squid ink.
Probably, yeah. It's pretty heat stable. It might turn the pasta if it gets, because heat speeds up oxidation. So it might turn the pasta that really cool, like golden brown color instead of stay black. You know?
Yeah,
a brown pasta.
Yeah. Well, it's a really cool, rich color. I don't know. It's like mahogany. It's really cool. It's a really cool, rich color it turns.
That could be fun for the kids if it turned out looking like a worm.
I didn't think about worm color. Yeah. 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 But it's cool stuff. But yeah, no, after that it flushed like just tons and tons and tons of gourmet. We just did all sorts of trumpets and blue like the blue freaking whatevers. Sorry, my brain went just freaking blank because I'm sitting here watching. I was
blue
like,
oyster.
Blue oysters. It really did flush really good about 4 or 5 times, and then the bales just turned to goo after that. We just had to walk through and pick up the baling twine because it ate them. The bales like nothing. They just fell apart. So, yeah. Good times.
Wow.
So what kind of experiments do you have going on?
The next stuff I'm doing as far as edibles is some no-bake recipes. Meister actually got me into that when I was telling him about the lemon bars, and I was worried about baking with the psilocybin and kind of killing that. He was like, well, geez, what about those no-bakes? Yeah, I forgot all about them. I loved them when I was younger. But all you have to do is melt down the peanut butter and chocolate and throw in some oats and some powdered mushroom, and you're not going to get any kind of heat damage from that.
Right?
Yeah.
I used to love those peanut butter squares. Those are awesome. The peanut butter with the chocolate layer, that'd be awesome. You wouldn't be able to taste any of that powder. You had like fucking 6 gram doses. Fucking.
Have you tried the powdered peanut butter? The chocolate powdered peanut butter is amazing.
I have not tried that yet, but it's been on my list.
I add like because it's got super high in protein.
Yeah.
I'll add like a spoonful of that to my daughter's cereal. It'll add like a chocolatey peanut butter flavor, but it adds like 26 grams of protein to her stupid cereal she likes. So super good for her.
Is that just sugar?
Yeah. Well, no, she doesn't. I've never really been big on feeding her like, Captain Crunch or anything. She eats right now. She likes Raisin Bran. So, but adding some extra protein is never a bad thing because she's going through this phase where she's just eating fruit, basically.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I've got one just like that. It's mostly fruit and bread, and I've got to find a way to get some better nutrition into her.
Well, try that peanut butter, man. It works out really well. The peanut butter powder, you can add it to damn near anything. And they have regular peanut butter and then the chocolate peanut butter. The chocolate peanut butter is fire, man. It's really good. I was thinking, man, you could...
A banana smoothie.
Oh, yeah. You could also add that to... I think that would work pretty well for no-bakes because it's added... it's cheap. And a little bit goes a long way. But making edibles with it would be pretty dang easy because you're not adding a lot of liquid.
Yeah. Actually, the last time I was thinking about the peanut butter powder was to flavor a beer. I did a stout that was chocolate and peanut butter, but
nice.
I heard that it wouldn't really hold the flavor that well. So we ended up using a peanut butter flavoring, which was great. But, it's still on my list of things to play with.
When I've done beer that I wanted to get to be chocolatey, I've always used like cacao nibs and actual like cacao pods. So you can order the cacao pods on Amazon. And like with the nut, like they're just full cacao pods, which are the most alien looking fruit in the entire world.
Yeah.
And then I've just basically put the whole damn thing and just in there and let it go. And it's worked out really well. It adds a weird chocolate flavor. Like it's like definitely not like, Hershey's.
Yeah. And it was great. I love dark chocolate anyway. So
oh yeah.
That was our Halloween beer. It came out like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Nice. Good job. Dangerous. Next thing you know, everybody's drunk.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. It doesn't sound like a bad thing.
No, it's not going to be a bad thing. It's going to be happiness and sunshine.
Yeah.
I'm going to find some new and interesting ways to use these extractions. I feel like everybody's getting into the chocolate bars, and I want to do something different.
I think you could probably do marshmallows out of them.
Yeah.
Ooh, marshmallows. I don't like marshmallows, but it's a good idea. How about more
that I'm not familiar with? How do you make a marshmallow?
I was hoping one of you would know. I know that people do it out. It's basically like spun sugar. I've seen people use those CO2 pressurized containers, like the ones that you can make like seltzer with. I've seen them use the end of that to put in the spun mushroom and blow it up into like marshmallow type stuff. But how to make? God damn it! This is going to be a rabbit hole now.
Yeah. Sprout marshmallows.
Yeah. I have a good eats episode that has making marshmallows. I'll have to watch it. Because I've watched it. I for some reason my brain is going blank today. I just can't think of anything. I'm having a bad
Holy
day.
crap! These are cool. They make little squares. They make square marshmallows. It's like corn syrup, sugar, unflavored gelatin. Right, and a high-powered mixer, and they basically just fluff the shit out of it. But it's really cool. It makes like square, like you cut it up into squares like Rice Krispie treats. Throw a little powdered sugar on the top, and rock and roll. It seems pretty darn straightforward. Little corn syrup. It says vanilla bean or vanilla bean extract. I'm thinking mushroom. But yeah.
Well, no reason you can't put both in there. My lemon bar recipe didn't call for any vanilla, but, you know, any baked good that you're doing is better with vanilla.
I think it'd be kind of cool to make, like, because you have to cook it until it's 240 degrees on a candy thermometer, and then you just basically fluff the shit out of it with your mixer.
It's not the kind of fluffer that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, then you can put them into molds. So, dude, making like mushroom shaped like marshmallows, like that are just like shitloads of freaking. But those are kind of get hot. There's got to be a way to. There's got to be something else we can make with them. You got gummies, chocolates. Who else has an idea?
I'm too busy looking at the videos about fluffers that I just looked up.
I was looking through the Chef's Cookbook before and trying to find some new ideas, different drinks he can make. There was a mushroom chai.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. That's people already do that with chenga or whatever it is. The one that's like on the like birch trees.
Oh, chaga, yeah.
Chaga, yeah. That thing just looks like a wart to me. I don't, and people say it's unpleasant tasting. So it's like, why would I want to do that?
I think it has a lot of the birch wood incorporated in that. I don't know what you would call it, it's like a canker on the side of the tree, but it has some added benefits from that birch.
Well, birch sap is good. Have you ever had birch sap? Like you can tap your birches like you can maple trees.
Yeah, I went down a rabbit hole on that. I wanted to make a beer that had birch sap or birch syrup in it, but that was prohibitively expensive for me to play around with.
Unless you have your own birch trees, it's going to be expensive to get birch sap.
Yeah, I'm in a heavy maple area, so I can get that just fine, but birch is hard to come by.
Have you ever tapped your own maple trees?
I haven't done it myself. I've helped some friends. I don't have enough land to do it on, but
how much does it take for a liter of syrup? Don't you need like gallons of fucking?
It's like 100 gallons or more, something crazy like that.
Ouch.
Yeah, I have them too, but I don't have 12 acres of them. It's fucking.
Yeah, one of my buddies did it just this last year. I've got some of the syrup. I helped them out for a couple of days, and they gave me a little cut of it, probably more than I deserved. But it's the syrup around.
I've made like here in the South, where God's country. Well, I've done the sugar cane, and it doesn't take 100 liters. It's a much more straightforward. There's a lot more sugar in sugar cane to make sugar cane molasses and stuff than there is, I guess, in the hardwoods, because it doesn't require boil. You can get it done in a day. So
really, it takes like days for maple syrup. Days.
Well, you guys live in the cold, frozen tundras, so like you got nothing better to do but fend off like the walruses from your maple trees.
Well,
stuff
we got to
like
keep the penguins safe. We got to keep the penguins safe. So
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've wondered if it would be a better use of that maple sap to hydrate my wood pellets with it for my lion's mane and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
What's the sugar content of just straight maple sap?
Oh, it's not. I tried it plain once, and it was not pleasant. There's no sweetness to it that you can detect.
No, yeah. I can't imagine it being very high at all. We're talking like a couple
Like
percent.
1 or 2%, something really low.
It's around 2%.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, no wonder it takes so damn much.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I'm sure they're added.
It's 6 bricks. So it's nothing. Yeah. Ouch.
I was thinking there has to be some other added benefits in that maple sap to add to the nutrition for the lion's mane. I know they like
agar.
Yeah,
good sugar source. Good sugar source for agar. That might be something to try out.
Yeah.
I'll have to add that to my right next to the jizz agar. I can't believe that. We came up with that.
Who did this?
We came up with this idea that we were hanging out in VC in the Beard Bunch, and I think Mike Melting said that he was going to do it, but I don't think he got around to it. I may have to do that myself.
We're going to go back to the don't teach mushrooms to eat people unless you want Last of Us to come live, right? Like, just don't teach mushrooms to eat people.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're throwing away napkins and shit, half the time they're going to have jizz on them anyways.
I mean, I have to say that's probably a record for this show. Is it took 42 minutes. That's a record.
I was just talking about fluffers fucking 10 minutes ago.
Okay. 30 minutes.
Yeah. But that's still a record.
I'm
out
just
of it today. I'm not feeling good.
Yeah, I gotta spice it up a bit.
I don't know.
Kids these days.
And Trim's not even here. I guess we didn't need it today.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't usually do Mondays because he has like a life and job and shit. So, yeah, he doesn't usually do Mondays. Mondays mornings is just usually me and Deadpool because I'm off work because I work my 72-hour shift, so I'm off Mondays. So, and then Deadpool just he sleeps. He's a professional sleeper. So, yeah, he's actually taken third place globally in aggressive sleep habits.
You just see me flailing my legs while I'm sleeping. It's great.
Yeah.
I just finished work Thursday. I'm off for the summer, so I'm only just getting the swing of all this fucking around. I've had all these ideas building up, and now I'll have the time to follow through with some of them.
What's your what project you looking most forward to?
That's a tough one. There's so many that are close to my heart. Jizz agar, probably.
Yeah,
the first.
I guess that was going to take a long time.
But no, I'm getting into some new stuff. I haven't grown Natalensis yet, so I've got that on. And getting more into the gourmets again. And I want to set up a tent for that separate. But
Definitely.
I gave some of the.
No, just trying a lot of new stuff I haven't done before. Yeah. Mostly with growing. Playing with edibles, too. don't have anything real interesting to report yet, but Deadpool will hear about it.
Oh yeah. I got my ears to the beards.
We might try to throw in a batch of mushroom mead at some point this summer.
I wonder if you could copy the Vikings, like, hallucinogenic mushroom mead.
Dude, that's what I'm trying to do.
I would think
that
need it, but I recently found out where there's a patch on my in-laws' property. I'm gonna have to go hunt for those.
Oh shit! No, I actually got beehives, so I can go ahead and try to get mycelium out there and have the bees eating that, so that the honey is active, and then you can take that honey and make it active honey with your own shit, so it's double dose kind of. So it's so much
that would be
fun.
You might want to buy some pollen, because pollen's pretty damn cheap, and mix it with some powdered mushrooms and see what happens. I bet you they put a little dish. I bet you they'll eat it like crazy.
Man, well then I have to find a better source than Wegmans for my pollen. That's not cheap. I've been adding that to the agar, especially in a charcoal agar where you get wispier growth. It really fattens up those ropes.
Really, I've never used pollen in agar.
Never used pollen.
That was the trick I learned from Whitebeard, and it's amazing.
Brown rice flour is what I always used. It works out really, really well.
I still use your regular sugar sources, whether it's sorghum syrup. I'm gonna try some agave, but from old brew kits, I've got a lot of priming sugar, which is just dextrose, and I've been using that.
That's what I use.
Yeah,
pure dextrose.
It makes a really nice clean LC, or almost gelin quality clear agar.
I'm fixing to get mostly into growing vegetables and stuff, just because to start the new farm, and we make agar dishes to ship seeds to each other, so they're sprouted by the time I get there.
Okay,
and it's basically like water agar, but for sprouting like really difficult seeds, like some of these weird South American peppers, it's much easier to just ship them on a just poked down inside of agar, and so they're sprouted by the time they get to people. Like you just pluck them out with a toothpick and pop them into some dirt, or just plant the whole agar, which happens.
Yeah. I wonder if that helps retain moisture.
Wait, what happened?
Sorry,
I wonder if
tiny beast
retain moisture. Plant it.
I heard pink oyster implanted. I don't know. If you guys are going in and out, or I'm going in and out.
I think his screen went black because he stopped making noise there.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. No, I wonder if that helps retain moisture around the roots if you plant the agar.
I think that they eat it pretty quick. I've used those Orbeez before.
Okay.
Have you ever done the Orbeez as a substrate?
I have not. It's been another thing on my list, but when I'm working, it's really taken a lot of my time, so I keep it simple, and then
I did a couple months. They're crazy.
Yeah,
mix yourself up a good basically LC, like a real nutrient-rich liquid culture, and then rehydrate your Orbeez with it, and then and you can add your Orbeez to like whatever you decide to use, whether it's CVG like noob, or like some of God stuff like the forest floor. That And,
Fuck yeah.
and the Orbeez Act, they really, really help with the moisture.
Okay.
But you can also just fruit right off of the Orbeez. You're only going to get one good flush, but it's just definitely interesting looking when you have all these different colored, like freaking basically marbles, and you got mushrooms growing up off the top of them. So it's cool looking. It's definitely cool. If you're going to do that, I suggest you use the black Orbeez, just like solid black Orbeez, just because it looks so freaking cool. The mycelium going through there, it looks like a lightning storm. And then
that's a great idea for a Halloween grow along I've got coming up.
Yeah, black Orbeez, just as the substrate. You don't need anything else, and then just inoculate the shit out of it, and let her go, let her rip, and it'll fruit.
Wait. You got a grow along coming up.
It's Myco Cat's grow along. I'm going to be a part of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm doing a little grow along privately right now with Fatal.
Are you? All right.
So we're doing some Louis Vuitton. He's getting on my butt about getting into sub. He did that over the weekend. But we were supposed to inoculate the same day, and he messed around for a couple weeks, so I put my jars up on a shelf. They've been ready to go, and I've got to get back into gear on that.
Very cool. Very cool. What's the biggest thing you've ever fruited? I would love to do like one of those like kiddie swimming pools, like the big, round plastic ones.
That's always been interesting to me, but the biggest thing I've done is a 54 quart tote. That's something I've got going right now. I've always done little 20 quart shoe boxes, not shoe boxes, but Sterilite tubs, and I've moved up to 32s, but the big stuff always scared me.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. But fruit. We've done all sorts of weird experiments, man. The worst thing that happens is nothing.
Right.
And you even if nothing happens, then just inoculate it with something really aggressive, like gourmets. I tell people all the time, gourmets are aggressive. They're gonna go to town when they get ready, and when they start colonizing, they're gonna go to town. If you could easily screw up your shit by having a pink oyster just spore in your grow area, and then now everything you have is contaminated with pink oyster.
I had that
really aggressive.
When I was still playing with the gourmets while I was getting into the cubes. I don't know how it happened, but somehow pink oyster spores got into some jars that I inoculated with cubes, and they just totally took over.
They're aggressive. Very, very, very aggressive. Which is great. I mean, but we're not when you're trying to do something besides pink oyster. But yeah, they worked out really well. Well, anything interesting else going on there, buddy?
I'm a pretty boring guy.
Yeah. Well, I know for that's not true. Let's see.
Yeah, it's just starting to get into playing around more. It's all about fucking around and finding out, right?
Got to be careful though, because once you start, you can't stop.
Oh, well.
Like me, I've been watching these fluffer videos this whole show.
Imagine that.
It's too late. I can't say that I even have a dedicated sub recipe. I'm always tweaking things and playing around.
Man, that's just part of the fun. If you're taking decent, even mental notes, you'll start noticing you'll make stuff that works best for your style of growing.
Right.
And, that's really fun. It's really fun. Now, you'll know you get real serious when you buy a cement mixer.
I have looked at them, but, I don't grow that much. I feel like that's so
Yet.
Yeah. If I get more into these gourmets, it might become a necessity.
Oh, dude, very much so. The wood pellets get very difficult to start.
Yeah.
They're very dense.
So far, it's just been a kind of measure them out, throw them in the bag, and then hydrate and move it around the best I can, PC it, and hope it works. But, there's got to be better ways, like a cement mixer.
The cement mixer. Once you own a cement mixer, everything looks like it needs a cement mixer. You can do laundry off grid with your cement mixer, for example. Like
take your kids on a ride.
Take your kids on a ride.
Jeez, I didn't even think about laundry and stuff. So it's got more benefits than mycology.
Yeah, you mix up like everything with the cement mixer: chicken feed, your animal feed, your
cement,
cement, for example. Yeah, making like your own seed starting blends, like and like anything for a farm or a garden. Really, really useful. Like washing a comforter that's too big to fit in your regular washer. Works out really well too because they're watertight. You just fill it full of water, throw it in there, and turn her on.
I've seen Home Mycology put up some videos lately on prepping his grains in that too, taking dirty bags of wild bird seed and cleaning them up.
I do that. Yep. I don't want it clean though. I mean, I want like my favorite oats that I buy are like the dirtiest oats. It's got grasshopper pieces of straw in there, maybe some random corn and Milo. It's just like it's barely horse grade. It's barely feed grade, right?
Right.
It's like the bottom of the bag is like half grasshopper heads. Like I love that shit. That's what I want to ferment, and that's what I want to grow my mushrooms on because that's all added nitrogen and protein. It's super good for the mushrooms.
I was really anal about it first. I'd take it, I'd sift it out, and try to get all that dirt and dust and bits of hay and other stuff. I'd pick out the other grains, and I'm over that. Just throw it in a
that goes away
coffee
fast.
ground.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Add the coffee grounds.
That's the one thing that I can say I've done from the very beginning is coffee grounds, and that's never been on my list of trying to take out. Only because I've never had a bad incident with them.
They love that little nitrogen boost and the caffeine boost. They like it.
Right. A lot of people are scared of them. They think it's just going to bring more contam, but if you're working in a clean environment, you don't have to worry about it. Once that mycelium takes hold, you're good.
Anybody that says that obviously doesn't sterilize their shit properly.
Yeah. Well, some people that are like scared or like pray to the contamination gods. It's like, guys, if you would just shower occasionally and like change your clothes, and like not fucking sneeze or mouth breathe into whatever you're doing. I mean, if you're a mouth breather, put on a freaking mask. You've got thousands of them within reach because of plague years. You just throw on any sort of mask just to redirect your mouth breathing away from whatever you're doing, and your contamination rate will go down a lot.
Let me ask you guys this. All right. I just realized something. Whenever I'm working and I do a transfer or I'm doing a grain to grain, I just realized this yesterday. After decades, I hold my fucking breath.
Yeah,
I hold my breath. I mean, I just realized that I'm doing this and I have a mask on. And I just realized that, all right, I did a grain to grain, so I'm doing them all real quick. And then I did a bit of exhale, but then I have a mask on, and then I had my glasses. So it all came up and it fogged up my glasses, which is not a world thing. Nothing to wear contacts on glasses. But I'm like, wait a second. I was just holding my breath that whole fucking time. I never even realized it after 20 fucking years.
And that's probably why you're real successful. Human mouths are dirty. You got all sorts of bacteria, fungi, and shit in there. And you're breathing it onto your stuff. A lot of people don't realize that they're the source of the contamination. That it's not their grain and it's not the coffee grounds. Like if you go in there and open a can of coffee and swab it and then swab it directly, like sterile technique to agar, it's not going to grow shit. It's sterile. It's been not only sterilized through the canning process, but also they radiate it to sterilize it. It's sterile as freaking hell. It's not coming from that. It's coming from them. It's bacteria and fungi that's falling off their skin because they don't shower right, or when they do shower, they don't actually like wash themselves with soap. They just kind of dab the soap on their pits and crotch and don't actually scrub their arms, which are going to be over the top of whatever they're doing. They're not washing their hair, or they're not putting their hair back, and they're dropping off stuff from their hair. Like the contamination's coming. Like if you look at labs, like 99.9% of the contamination is coming from the lab worker and not the environment or the samples they're working with. You don't need to make noises like that, Jeff.
And it's easy stuff like that. It doesn't take that much extra effort. I've even gotten lazy since I got a fan filter unit, and I can identify every time I've gotten contam that, oh yeah, I did this or that, and this plate's probably going to contam, and it does.
Right.
But
it's like when it'll fall on the ground or something, and you're like, I'm gonna finish this anyways, only because maybe, and then that one's gonna be all fucked.
Right. I don't even use gloves anymore, and my finger slipped and I touched it. It's not hard to keep stuff.
I have a little bit of a ritual. Like if I'm going to go to the lab and I'm going to actually work in the lab for a while, I arrange all of my shit and then I go take a shower, change freaking clothes, put my hair up, because I have really long hair. I put my hair up in a bun, and then I put on a freaking just N95 mask because I've got thousands of them, and put on my gloves, then ISO my freaking arms, and then I'm good to go and rock and roll. And I just feel like being clean when I go and do my clean stuff in my clean area, my clean room, even though I have a really, really nice flow hood, it's still my contamination rate's zero. Like I just don't get tapped, right? Because just taking a little extra steps of washing your goat smelling ass. And it's really hard. In the past, we've had people where we've tried to tell them the importance of personal hygiene, and they just don't believe you. They're just like, that's a myth.
Yeah.
So,
or people that don't
you
use
might
ISO.
get lucky every now and then. You don't have problems, but why take the chance? Set up that ritual for yourself.
Right?
Yeah. It's a dinosaur.
Do you say she's done with spores? That's not good.
No, she loves dinosaurs, and she's trying to get her dinosaur tap.
Tell her dinosaurs don't eat fruit.
I know setting up that ritual and stuff was great for me. I'm ADHD. It's hard to stay focused on stuff, but once you get into that pattern, everything gets so much better.
Yeah, once you start getting the success rates that you get, I don't get TAMs. I literally haven't cleaned out my TAMs, and it's almost 2 years. I just did it the other day. Can I take what I do is when I get a jar and it TAMs out, I fucking throw it in a tote in the garage.
Yeah.
Just leave it there. because I'm going to clean it. I'm going to get rid of it, this weekend. But I don't, because I have hundreds and hundreds of fucking jars.
Oh,
so I literally had 2 totes of jars over the course of 2 years.
Hell. It's hot as hell here. I just set them out in the sun and let them get nuked for a day or two, and then I'll empty them out. But by that time, everything in there is dead. Right? It's like don't leave a baby in a car. Right? It's hot as shit. So yeah, it's 110 degrees outside, and inside that jar probably hits 160. Like in the sun, everything's dead.
No, I put my shit outside and it'll fucking break the glass.
Well, yeah, you live in a nightmare scenario where you have to fight off
very
bears.
You have what?
Failed attempts. Just sit around for a while. The actual bags, once I spawn stuff, I've got a pile of those in the garage that I need to get out under the rose bushes and just use them as fertilizer.
It works really well. Like I found the tomatoes
bags.
Tomatoes just love feldspar, dude, and like used bricks and stuff like that. Oh man, they love it. I don't know what it is, but the tomato plants just grow like crazy when you put that around them. So, yep, tomatoes.
Sounds like a good nutrient for. Oh, you got some, did you? From over at Whitey's?
Yeah, Halser's there sent them out. They should be getting here either today or tomorrow. And he was saying, spent cakes and stuff are great. Throw a little bit of that into your soil, and they take right off. They love it.
Good times. Well, gentlemen, who else has something else to add to this little shindig?
No. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm passing the fuck out. Fucking crazy.
SpecialT, sir, it's been great having you on. Keep us involved in some of these cool experiments you got going on. Now you got some free time. We'd love to have you back on and talk about some more.
Dude, I can't wait to try your ultrasonic thing. That's going to be great.
Yeah. So with your ultrasonic, is it just like the 440 megahertz one, just like the regular same for like gun cleaning parts?
Yeah. Yep, it's just an Amazon. I think the brand was Viver.
That's what I got. It has,
Yeah, it's a 2-liter. Nothing big and crazy. Yep. But
it just fits a couple of Glock barrels and shit in there.
A couple. That's a lot of Glock barrels in there.
But it works out really well. I haven't used it for doing extracts, but I imagine it'd be really, really useful because they do those ultrasonic.
All those kryptonines and compound of the cell of the mushroom. Something that would have normally just been a microdose hits a little bit harder.
Very cool. Well, guys, it's been great having
you guys. I'll come back with updates when I have something cool to talk about.
Hell yeah.
We'd like to thank SpecialT for coming on today. If you guys would like to support the show, you can through our Venmo. That's going to be at FAFOCult. You can do so also through our Cash App. It'll be $ FAFOCult. If you have any bitches, gripes, concerns, you want to be on the show, you
send them the SpecialT.
Yeah, you can go ahead and send any hate mail you'd like to SpecialT. Now, but you can go ahead and find us at FAFOCult@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the show by getting some cool merchandise, you can go ahead and do that at FAFOCult.etsy.com. As usual, we love our freaking listeners, and it's very nice to be able to do another FAFO Monday. It's been a while since we've gotten somebody that wanted to come on a Monday, as everybody's gotten busy as it got warmer. So So people have like lives and shit now. Whereas during the winter, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not doing anything, with everything planned." So thank you for coming on, SpecialT. It's great hearing from you.
For having.
Hey, you don't do anything. You don't have like a website or anything, do you?
No.
All right. I didn't think so, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't that I asked before.
Yeah, no, I'm still just in that hobby stage, playing around, seeing what I can do.
The good old days where everything was fun.
Before it seems like work.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, it was very nice having you on. Usually at the end of everything, we try to say something positive. We go around the room, and we generally throw Deadpool under the bus first. What do you got, bud?
Right. I need a fluffer. That's
okay. That's pretty positive, I guess.
Yep. I'm looking at it. I need one of these. This is great. Sorry. But yeah, no, I don't know. Keep trying. Don't keep fucking up, and if you don't get better, get a fluffer. Good. I'm good.
Yeah, no, right along those lines. Don't be afraid of failure. Just keep trying. Eventually, it'll work out, and you'll be famous like these guys.
I prefer the term infamous.
Hey, universally hated. Well, I say something positive from me is going to be give everything a shot. Like experiment, get outside your safety zone. There's so many ways to do things the right way, or at least a way that works outside of everybody's little set. Like you can only do it X, Y, and Z. Nah, man. There's so many. Like mushrooms want to live as much as you want them to live. So it's really hard. Sorry. It's really hard to kill them as long as you keep your temperatures correct and you're at least a little bit clean. But definitely wash your goat smelling ass before you go and play in your lab. All right, gentlemen. And with that, we're going to go ahead and say thank you. We love our listeners. And Australia.
Bye-bye.
Let's pick it up. And Poland. A bunch of Poland people listening now. Thank you, guys, and goodbye.
Peace.